We could do a multi-section solid. Let me delete this. Set that up for you. I think 3 is enough. Okay. I could actually probably delete this middle one. Let's do a sketch over here. I'll make it very simple. Or actually, let's make it like this. Exit. Do a sketch over here. Exit. And then do a sketch over here. Exit. And then if I go to multi-section solid, then I could create or select my profiles. And for now, it will automatically it'll automatically try to combine all of these, but let's see. I'm going to try to move this point to, where's that point at? There you go. Maybe I'll put that there. So let me explain what these lines are showing. So it's trying to create a solid from these cross-sectional profiles, but it basically tries to sample, it samples this each of the sketch profiles at points along the way, and it tries to interpolate between that, right, for each point, for each respective point. So if I have a reference point, right, you see this arrow, the base of the arrow is where the reference point is, right, and it's trying to interpolate that and try to create a smooth connection to the next reference point over here. Do the same thing for here, right? But unless this is specifically what you want, this is not ideal. This is probably not what you want. So let me supports. One thing I could do to fix that is to make a plane, or sorry, a point on that more closer to where the other reference points were. Let me show you what I mean. In the part body, where did it go? Essentials, multi-section, 1, 2, 3. Right, if I get this to be at this point, closing points, preview, right, it's still going to give me an error, but it does look cleaner, right? Because before it was trying to cross this point to all the way to the other side. So this does look cleaner. So one thing that you don't want to have abrupt geometry changes over a small distance. So one thing that might fix that is for me to fix these the plane distances, let's say like 500 to 500. Go back to the part body. Yeah, it's already in there. Okay, so another better thing that I can do is to explicitly define out my guide curves. For example, if I went back into this sketch and I added some points, this isn't an exact science, I could definitely constrain this better. But I'll keep it there for now. Right, and then let's say I do a guide curve from there to there. So it should be point to point. Let's do a point to point line. Point to, yep, preview, looks good. Go back into the multi-section. I'll just do 2 of these profiles for now. Right, and then do a guide curve. Right here. it wants me to. Also, these starting points should be sort of, you should try to get them to be somewhat similar. So let me X out of that for now. The sketch over here, let's make it like somewhere, let's make the point somewhere down here. Or is it the wrong sketch? No, that should be the right sketch. Yeah, down here. And then this, I'll select one of the points down here. And they should all be this arrow. You could switch the direction, but you should have them going the same direction. Here we have them both going counterclockwise. And it wants me to change this to ratio preview. Right, looks good. And it actually might have been just fine without the guide curve, but right, this is the guide curve right here. And if this is just a simple rectangle to a circle, but if you had more of a complex geometry, then you might want to more explicitly define more guide curves. Sorry, I was not looking there. I did not know what I pressed. Okay, yeah, let's delete those for now. You could also transform these. I went over mirror, I went over these patterns. If I were to take this to this and I moved it, then it would do like a translate operation on it, or you can manually define more exactly what you want to do. I'll go back and then let's do some other things. There is a remove draft feature. What's one example I could show for that? If I go back to my sketches over here, let's just pad up a rectangle, exit, pad it up. Okay, let's say I put a chamfer. Okay. If I wanted to remove this face, for example, then it will automatically sort of bring up the other surrounding faces and cut it off at the intersection, right? Let's say this wasn't really a chamfer. Let's say this was some other face that sort of was a result of some other features and it was unwanted. That's a very simple way to do it. Maybe not the best way, but it's a tool you have on hand. And then before I do that remove face, let's say I want this whole profile to be extruded. One thing I could do is to, do a sketch on this face, project this entire element, okay, and then pad it up. Or there's a one-stop shop for that. Refine, which is add thickness over here. Let's say 15, preview, right? That's the same thing. Better for more complicated geometries. Yeah, and then there are more analysis tools, but these are the basics of what you need. I think that pretty much covers like 95% of what you would use in the part design module, especially along with the Boolean operation tutorials that I have for these guys. So if that's one thing that you're not familiar with yet, then I would recommend watching that as well as the, I don't know what I'll title it right now, but sort of the good design / design theory video that I have up as well. All right. Thank you. We'll catch you later.